All right, so what I want to talk about in this video is finding your why. If you've ever been involved in any kind of network marketing, multi-level marketing, a lot of stuff that deals with business, self-help, or self-promotion type stuff, if you've ever had a mentor or a coach or a life coach or anything like that, it's very popular for many of these programs to begin with what they call finding your why, W-H-Y. And what that means is, are you wanting to make any significant changes in your life? Why? Do you want to start a new business? Why? Do you want to write your first book? Why? You want to make more money? Why? Okay, so you get the idea. Finding your why is like finding your purpose in life.
There's no escaping reason, no denying purpose, because as we both know, without purpose, we would not exist.
It is purpose that created us, purpose that connects us, purpose that pulls us, that guides us, that drives us. It is purpose that defines, purpose that binds us.
Finding your purpose, without purpose, we're completely lost, and life is boring, and life is confusing, and anxiety sets in, and you drink too much, and you smoke too much, and you watch too much Netflix, and you eat too much, things like that. And so having a clear why you're doing what you're doing, or why you are wanting to do what you want to do, will give you a tremendous power. It'll give you a tremendous strength. It'll give you tremendous courage. It'll give you tenacity. It'll give you grit. And it helps push you through the hard times. So what we want to find in this video is purpose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my purpose that I had. I'm then going to share with you how I lost my purpose for a number of years, and then how I recently refound my purpose in a very unexpected way.
Several years ago, I went to go see a therapist, and I'll swing back around and talk about that in a second. But I went to go see a therapist, and at one point she asked me a question. She asked me, "What are you living for?"
Now, I gave her a quick, pat answer to that question, and what she said surprised me. She said, "That's nice, but it's not good enough. What are you living for outside of that?" And you know what? I sat there in silence, and I thought, and I thought, and I did not have an answer. This was several years ago. Now, if she asked me today, I would have a definite answer.
Now, let's back up 20 years ago. I knew exactly what my why was. I was a new Christian, and I was on fire, as it were. And I was studying to be a pastor, and nothing was going to stop me. I was totally on fire. I knew my why. I was clear on the whole thing. And then something in life happened. I went through a painful divorce. I lost basically everything that I had, and my life completely fell apart. At that point, I also struggled with alcohol and depression, and I sort of languished for a number of years in that state. About 7 years, I languished in that state of just kind of being lost. And I lost my purpose, my why, for like everything.
It always felt like 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. And at that point, I didn't care about being a pastor. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I just basically wanted to make some sort of a living so that I could take care of myself and take care of my kids. And that was really the extent of it. It was I was just surviving. I wasn't living really, I was just surviving. All right, so I did end up working through that and pulled myself together, got a new job. Things were going good, going back to church, still kind of working out some of the faith issues, trying to figure out all of that, the big questions of life. But life was kind of back on track again, and I still didn't have a clear why, but I was making progress. And so after I got back on my feet, I got a new job, I was making money, I was doing really well, something happened. Something awesome happened. I met a girl. I met a new girl, and her name is Rebecca. we dated for a while, and I knew she was the one real early on. I just knew it, and super exciting, you know, all that stuff. So I proposed. She said yes. We ended up getting married. She's now my wife, and so I'm going to introduce you to Rebecca. And there she is. This is Rebecca. Say something great.
Hi.
Say something about me. Something that's good.
Joel is very funny.
Yeah. All right. So we got married, and let's try a different style. I like that. That looks good. Can we try a little more like edgy and like punk rockish? Let's try that.
Okay.
That's pretty hot. I like that. I think I like the original bangs the best though. Let's do the bangs. Alright, there we go. I like that. I like the bangs. It's kind of a European type thing. Alright, so this is Rebecca. We ended up getting married. It was a whole new chapter in life, very exciting, new possibilities, new love, new romance, new family, new home, all the awesome, right? It was great. And then something happened. 7 months into our marriage, my dad called me and he had said something was wrong. He basically told me that he had cancer. Turns out my dad had stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 is considered, in most cases, incurable. And so that was very difficult. My dad was very important to me. About a month after that, we found out that Rebecca was re-diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And this is the hairdo that we've been rocking for the last 3 years.
4 years.
4 years now, that's right. Now I talk a lot about this story and all this journey in my books that I've written. But that threw a huge monkey wrench in life. Life was basically turned upside down again. And it was very, as you can imagine, very, very difficult.
About a year into her having cancer, we started really struggling. It was very difficult. The prognosis was not good. And depression was setting in again, and fear. And so that's when I went to go see this therapist. We actually both did. And that's when the therapist asked me, what are you living for, Joel? What is your why, essentially? And I said at that point, well, I'm a husband and I'm a father. That's what I am. And she said, that's not good enough. And I didn't know. I didn't have an answer as to, she essentially said, you need something bigger. You need a bigger purpose in your life. You need something outside yourself, outside Rebecca, outside your kids, something that's going to drive you and compel you to, reach for excellence.
Something that when hard times hit, it will drive and motivate and carry you through those hard times. I didn't have an answer for her. And I sat there. Now this is about 3-4 years ago. About 3.5 years ago that this happened, that she asked me this. And I sat there in silence and I didn't have an answer. Oh, and I'm gonna take over this video and I'm gonna say goodbye. So thanks for your help.
So after I saw the therapist, I went home, and months passed by and I still didn't know what my purpose and my why is. It turns out that I was actually right in the middle of finding my why again, and I didn't even realize it. You see, because of the cancer, we decided to take a huge risk, and we decided to make a documentary on Rebecca's life and her journey and her faith, and we called it A Brave Hope. And it's been 2 years in the making now, and it's an amazing documentary. At the same time, I also decided to write my first book and get back into writing, which I love doing. And I wrote Help Someone I Love Has Cancer, How You Can Make a Difference. And I also wrote a second book called In Your Corner, and it's for caregivers and husbands. That was my why. And so I was actually discovering my why through trials. It wouldn't have happened had my wife not gotten cancer. I would have never discovered my why had tragedy not struck our family. Had we not gone through some serious trials and difficulties, I wouldn't have discovered it. And so that's how I find my why, again, is to help people with cancer, to help those on the journey going through cancer. But really my heart extends to anyone even further than that. Anybody hurting, struggling, just struggling with life, and people with addictions, anything like that. is really where my heart's at. And that's kind of what my purpose now is to help people in those situations. And it all started with cancer. For me, it all boiled down to, when it's all stripped away, it all boiled down to love. That was really the driving force, was love. And then I kind of worked out from there. And so that's a good place to start when you're looking for your why, is what do you love the most?
I discovered my reason. I discovered my purpose again. I never lost my faith. I'm, still there, but it's taken on a very different turn. There's a sense where we can look back and be thankful for the difficulty, the terribleness of it, the bad news, the pain, the suffering, because we have learned how to fight back in a positive way and make something out of it. To not waste the pain and the suffering and the fear and the anxiety and the anger. We didn't waste it. We somehow learned to use it in a positive way to fight back and to make a difference. Okay, so now let's stop. That's my why. All right, I had it before, I lost it, I refound it again, totally unexpected way. All right, so let's change gears and let's talk about you. Let's try to help you find your why, or at least put you on the path in that direction. I watched a YouTube video this morning by one of my favorite filmmakers, Peter McKinnon, and he said that you cannot become what you want by remaining where you are. And I thought that was pretty good. You cannot become what you want by remaining where you are. And so if I were to ask you, what is your why? What are you doing right now, or what goals do you want to accomplish? And then I ask you why. You might say, well, I want to make more money, or I want my kids to be happy, or I want a new home that's bigger, or I want a better job with better pay and better benefit. And I would say, why? Why do you want more money? Right? We always want to go down to the root of it. And typically, the answers are relatively always the same. It comes down to time. You want more time. You want more time with your family. You want more time to do things that you love doing. You want more freedom. You don't want to be bound by whatever your work schedule is. Freedom from your boss. Freedom from a lot of nonsense that goes on at work and just stupid stuff that we have to do in life. You want more love. You want to be closer. You want to be closer to your spouse. You want to be closer to your kids, or you want to find that spouse and you want to have kids so that you can be close and have that intimate relationship, which is like really the only thing that matters in life, is love in those relationships. You want, at root, you want more influence in life. You want more influence to do good. You want more power to help people, to make a difference in this world. You want more power to fight evils and injustices and try to see wrongs righted. What I would say is, I think our core need as humans is love and connection with other people. So you might want to start there. If your why in your worldview is seen as like a web of beliefs, right? The center of that web, put in love and connection with others. That's your hub. And I would say start there and then work your way out to particulars, particular things and topics that you might want to do.
When you find your why, when you find your purpose, what you find is a tremendous amount of energy, power, passion, enthusiasm. You get courage. You get courage to take risks. And it's okay right now if you don't know what your why, what your purpose is for life. It is a process. It's not like finding your keys that are lost. It's something that takes time, and it can take months and it can take years. And you may be doing it right now and you're not even aware of it. So what I would say is, I'm going to ask you some questions. I have 4 questions here to help you kind of learn and find what your purpose in life is.
Remember I said the hub is love, okay? So find, what are those things in life that can bring you to tears? What are those things that pull your heartstrings? I would get a whiteboard or a piece of paper and write those things down. What things can bring you to tears? Because that's an extremely powerful phenomena that's happening within you when heartstrings are pulled and you're brought to tears, and that's telling you something. All right, write all of those down. Number 2, what are you good at? What are your skills? What is your special knowledge? Write those down. Write it all down. Basically, you want to do a brainstorm here. Write down your special skills, things you're good at, accomplishments you've done. Number 3, what are you passionate about in life? All right, some people are passionate about animals. Some people are passionate about orphans. Some people are passionate about art, writing, helping the homeless, medical, I don't know, whatever it is. What are you passionate about? What makes you angry? What pisses you off, right? Cancer pissed me off. I have a chapter in this book here called Cancer. And, cancer pissed me off, made me angry, and it made me want to fight. I can't take my wife and just pull the cancer out of her. I can't fight, but how do I fight this monster? Okay, so it put me on a direction to what I'm doing now. So what pisses you off? What makes you angry? What do you want to fight in this world? To see change, to see right. Write it down. Put it on a piece of paper. And finally, what do you love doing that doesn't feel like work? What do you love doing in life? I don't care if it's paddleboarding. I don't care if it's walking your dog. I don't know, whatever it is. What do you love doing in life that takes energy, but it doesn't feel like work? Write it down. Spread it out. Do a mind map. I imagine somewhere in there is your purpose in life. Last thing I would say is your purpose, your why, may be a new dimension of life, a new area of life, a new category of life that you don't know really much anything about. That's all partially true of me. When I got involved in a lot of the projects that I took on, the documentary and doing these kinds of films, and 3.5 years ago when I saw that therapist, I didn't even have a Facebook account. I'd never even looked at Facebook. I had no desire, I had no care, and so social media for me is a whole new animal that I'm having to learn. Filming, cameras, lighting, all of this stuff, microphones and sound and editing, that's all basically new to me. And so, but my passion is driving me to want to learn it, and I love it. So what do you love doing that doesn't feel like work? And it may be a whole new area that you want to do, or your why is going to lead you into that area, and you're going to have a lot to learn, but that's cool because that's fun of it. Last, I want to leave you with a quote by Steve Jobs. I love this quote. I have this taped up in my office. I pulled it off the wall just now for this. And Steve Jobs says, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle." Good words. It's going back up on the wall. All right, I'll see you guys later.